Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine. And today we've got a great show for you. We're talking all about music.
It's a great topic. I think everyone loves music. And, well, there's so much type of music out there. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Exactly. So there's a little bit for everyone here. Even if you hate rock music, there might be something in it that you're going to be a fan of.
Right. So before we get started on the dialogue, we have a couple of words that we want to preview. So let's take a look at them now in vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
All right, so this word sounds a little bit funny. It looks like it should be pronounced differently. We say genre.
Genre.
Or genre.
So this kind of sounds French. Is it French?
I think it comes from French. It's a GE word, so genre. It's a soft sound. Mm-hmm.
And what's a genre?
Well, a genre is like a category. So you could say genre of book or genre of music.
Oh, movies also have genres, right?
Yeah, they do. It's like horror movie is a genre.
Okay, or action or suspense, etc. So we're going to be looking at music genres on this occasion.
And some of these genre names actually have abbreviations. They're long words that we say in short forms. And this kind of abbreviation is called an acronym.
All right, so that's another word that we're looking at, acronym. So an acronym is a short version of a long word?
Yeah, usually it's just letters. Like USA is a very good acronym. It means United States of America.
All right, cool. So there are some acronyms as well in music, so that's what we're going to be looking at. And many other things, I guess, like DNA is an acronym.
Yeah, DNA is an acronym. UN is an acronym.
All right, great. So we're going to be looking at different genres of music. So let's listen to our dialogue for the first time. We're going to listen to a game show where people have to name the song and the genre.
Welcome back, music lovers, to I Love That Song, the game show where we test your musical knowledge to the extreme. Let's get started. Team A, guess this tune.
I'm carrying your love with me.
Carrying Your Love with Me by George Strait. The genre is country music.
You're right. 100 points to Team A. Now for our next cut.
All night long, let me see that thong song by Cisco. I believe the genre is R&B.
100 big points for Team B. For all of our viewers, the acronym R&B stands for Rhythm and Blues. On that note, DJ, play our next song.
It's just the radio. Superstar by the Carpenters.
And the genre?
Adult contemporary?
That's right, 100 points. Uh-oh, that sound means it's double or nothing. The songs are more difficult and the points are doubled. Let's hear our next song.
Too easy. That song is Kingslayer by the Finnish power metal group Nightwish.
You are correct. Very impressive, Team A. And it seems we have a tie. It's time now for the tiebreaker round. Each team will be played 3 songs, and they must tell us the genre of each song in less than 5 seconds. Team A, are you ready?
Ready.
Let's hear it.
Hip-hop, classical, and gothic metal.
You're right. Team B, the pressure is on. If you get all of them right, we will move on to sudden death. If you miss one, you lose. DJ, let's hear it.
Rap, disco, and
fun show, Marco. I kind of think I'd be good at this kind of game. I might win big.
Well, there were a lot of different types of genres in there and a lot of different music. I don't know, maybe not very popular. Like, for example, country music. I don't know if many people outside of the United States actually know about this.
Well, there might be different kinds of country music, but, in America, one of the most famous country musicians is Garth Brooks. And even if I didn't like his music, I grew up hearing it everywhere.
But you don't like it?
It's one of those things that I like some kinds of country music, but it's a huge genre. That means there's lots of different kinds of music within country.
All right. Well, let's take a look at more of these genres and now in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so we talked about country music.
Yeah.
Now, this is mostly in the United States, right?
And the South especially, because there's a long tradition of country music in the southern United States.
So it's very characteristic to have guitars and
A little bit of twang, maybe.
twang. What is twang?
It's a way of saying a word. So I could say, I'm from Texas, or I could say, I'm from Texas.
That's twang.
That's twang.
So kind of like an accent, a southern accent.
Yeah, so Garth Brooks has a famous twang. I got friends in love. That's a very famous song of his where he's twangy.
Very southern.
Yeah.
All right, so we have country music, and then we saw another genre, which is R&B.
Okay, this is a little bit more up my alley. That means this is more of an interest
All right.
of mine. Yeah.
And R&B is an acronym for...
Rhythm and blues.
All right, so the R&B that we know now, what would be some examples of those artists?
Well, a really famous artist is John Legend, who's been touring the world with his new album, and that kind of music is R&B. So we're talking about a kind of music that mixes jazz traditions with rhythm. So that means drums and bass.
Okay.
Dum, dum,
Right.
dum, dum. That's rhythm.
So you have rhythm and blues. So like the name says, R&B, very popular nowadays. Oh, and then we moved on to something heavier, something more like rock style, which is metal.
Metal. Okay, I'm not really sure why they call it metal, but metal is a very, very popular kind of music.
So it divides into different categories, right? In this song, we saw that it was power metal.
Yeah.
But you also have like heavy metal.
Well, because metal is such a broad category, it's a big category,
Yeah.
it's hard to say what certain groups are unless you're really a fan and you follow. But there are many different kinds of metal out there. And so if you're interested, I would check it out on Wikipedia.
Yeah, or let us know if you know what's the difference between power metal and gothic metal and electronic metal. So there are so many different types now. But moving on to our next genre, we also saw something that everyone probably knows nowadays, and that's hip-hop.
Yeah, hip-hop is a great, great, and very interesting kind of music. It grew out of a lot of people who were listening to jazz in the late 80s, especially in New York, I think, Brooklyn. And it's kind of interesting in the sense that you take these old records, these old vinyls, and you slow everything down.
Right.
So you change the speed. So a normal song goes from dum, 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 dum to dum, dum, dum,
Yeah.
dum.
And then you had like some bass in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then some lyrics, and you have yourself something like hip-hop. So a very famous hip-hop artist nowadays would be 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Or, for example, also Nelly, right? Another
Yeah.
famous hip-hop artist.
Yeah.
So we have hip-hop, and, well, it's kind of similar, I don't know, very similar to rap almost.
Yeah, but it's different in that the way the process for making this kind of music is quite different. Yeah, rap tends to be very lyric heavy, whereas hip hop is very beat heavy, I think.
Right. So interesting. Now we've seen a lot of these different genres, but of course there's so many more that we can't really look at all of them in one single podcast.
That's what our website's for. You can put your favorite music genres up on our website and practice your English.
Exactly. So, well, why don't we listen to this dialogue for the second time? Let's slow it down just a little bit, and then we'll come back and look at some more phrases.
Welcome back, music lovers, to I Love That Song, the game show where we test your musical knowledge to the extreme. Let's get started. Team A, guess this tune.
Carrying Your Love with Me by George Strait. The genre is country music.
You're right. 100 points to Team A. Now for our next cut.
Thong Song by Cisco. I believe the genre is R&B.
100 big points for Team B. For all of our viewers, the acronym R&B stands for Rhythm and Blues. On that note, DJ, play our next song.
Superstar by the Carpenters.
And the genre?
Adult contemporary?
That's right, 100 points. Uh-oh, that sound means it's double or nothing. The songs are more difficult and the points are doubled. Let's hear our next song.
Too easy. That song is Kingslayer by the Finnish power metal group Nightwish.
You are correct. Very impressive, Team A. And it seems we have a tie. It's time now for the tiebreaker round. Each team will be played 3 songs, and they must tell us the genre of each song in less than 5 seconds. Team A, are you ready?
Ready.
Let's hear it.
Hip-hop, classical, and gothic metal.
You're right. Team B, the pressure is on. If you get all of them right, we will move on to sudden death. If you miss one, you lose. DJ, let's hear it.
Rap, disco, and...
So it isn't a true English pod lesson if we don't give you a couple of phrases and words to make you sound more fluent. So that's the purpose of this next portion of our show.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, so the phrases that we're going to look at now on Fluency Builder are the ones that we saw in the dialogue, but we can use, of course, outside of music or outside of a game show. And there was an interesting one that he mentioned when he said double or nothing.
Double or nothing.
It's double or nothing.
Well, this is an interesting phrase because it, I think, comes from gambling and betting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a way for us to say, well, you could double your money, but if you have a bad answer, if you lose this round, you don't get anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, you do see a lot of people say maybe they're betting or they're playing a game. That person loses and says, okay, let's go double or nothing. So give me one more shot to win back my money.
Right. So if I say, okay, Marco, you need to tell me the capital of Brazil. You have $50. If you get the answer right, you get $100. But if you get the answer wrong, you get 0.
Right. That's double or nothing. All right. Interesting phrase. What else do we have?
We've got a great one here called tiebreaker.
So a tiebreaker.
Yeah, a tiebreaker. It's a thing. And sometimes in games, some people have the same score. They have the same amount of points.
So they're tied.
They're tied. A tie means you have the same number. And if you want to win, you need one winner. You have to have a tiebreaker to decide.
So it could be a question, or like we saw here, a tiebreaker round.
Yeah.
So to decide on a winner.
And this is all or nothing because if you get the answer right, you win. If you don't, you lose. It doesn't matter if you were tied before.
Right. All right, a tiebreaker. And we have one more phrase, and this one is really interesting. The pressure is on. So if I say the pressure is on,
it almost sounds painful.
Yeah, it does. Well, does it mean that I am being pressured, or what is this?
Well, so it's a good question. The important thing to look at here is the word on, because pressure has this kind of companion word to put pressure on something or to put pressure on someone. And so it's the way we say it in English, and it means that you're going to really take things seriously from this point on.
Okay.
Right? So, for example, the Chicago Bulls were at the peak, the height of their fame, and they were just a wonderful team. And oftentimes, you'd hear the announcers say, there's 5 seconds left on the clock. The pressure is on Michael Jordan to win the game.
All right. So the opportunity for the team to win all depended on Michael Jordan.
Right. So the pressure, all of this stuff is on him, his shoulders. So he has to score the point to win the game.
Okay. This is a very interesting phrase. Why don't we take a look at some other examples of how we could use the pressure is on?
Example 1.
Carl is really stressed out lately. The pressure of the entire project is on him since his promotion.
Example 2.
The pressure is on the president to guide his country out of the recession.
Example 3.
The pressure is on our entire team to successfully come up with a new product for the Asian market within a month.
All right, great examples, great phrases. I think it's pretty clear now, right?
It is, and to make sure that we understood the whole dialogue, I think we should take another listen to it at a normal speed. And when we come back, we'll be talking a little bit more about one of my favorite topics, music. Welcome back, music lovers, to I Love That Song, the game show where we test your musical knowledge to the extreme. Let's get started. Team A, guess this tune.
I'm carrying your love with me.
Carrying Your Love With Me by George Strait. The genre is country music.
You're right. 100 points to Team A. Now for our next cut.
All night long, let me see that thong.
Thong song by Cisco. I believe the genre is R&B.
100 big points for Team B. For all of our viewers, the acronym R&B stands for Rhythm and Blues. On that note, DJ, play our next song.
It's just the radio.
Superstar by the Carpenters.
And the genre?
Adult contemporary?
That's right, 100 points. Uh-oh, that sound means it's double or nothing. The songs are more difficult and the points are doubled. Let's hear our next song.
Too easy. That song is Kingslayer by the Finnish power metal group Nightwish.
You are correct. Very impressive, Team A. And it seems we have a tie. It's time now for the tiebreaker round. Each team will be played 3 songs, and they must tell us the genre of each song in less than 5 seconds. Team A, are you ready?
Ready.
Let's hear it.
Hip-hop, classical, and gothic metal.
You're right. Team B, the pressure is on. If you get all of them right, we will move on to sudden death. If you miss one, you lose. DJ, let's hear it.
Rap, disco, and
All right, so we have music, different music genres. Which one are you mostly into?
As a hard question, I have very different interests. I like classical music. I also like jazz, but I also like rock, and I also like R&B. So
I guess it depends on your mood. Huh?
Absolutely.
Now, they say that music does really influence people's moods.
They did a study, some doctors in America did a study to see if heart patients, people who have heart problems, could be positively affected by music. And the results said that yes, it can be helpful.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. So maybe it helps them relax or...
Yeah, it says if you're listening to the radio and a song that you like comes on the radio, you hear this song, your heart pumps more oxygen to your brain.
Wow.
So it means it actually makes you happier.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What about when they play music for unborn babies? Like they'll put little headphones on a mother's belly and they'll play like classical music because supposedly it'll make the baby smart.
It's
or
like baby Mozart or something.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think talking to kids and giving them books when they're little probably helps a little bit more, but I'm not a doctor, so that I can't say.
Well, many people do argue now that they don't make music like they used to. I guess they say that, music that was made before, the lyrics were more profound. They were real musicians, they were composers, and they wrote lyrics. But now you just get a lot of temporary music that doesn't really transcend into the future. What do you think?
I totally disagree. I think the last 10 years have seen a really amazing growth in the music industry because more people are communicating. The internet allows us to hear all sorts of things from all over the world. And so we have great musicians who can listen to music from Mali, and they can listen to music from India, and they have all these different influences that were not there before. And so I think it's the opposite. I think a lot of new pathways in music have opened up because of the technology revolution.
Wow, interesting. Well, what do you guys think? Listeners, come to our website, englishpod.com. Leave your questions and comments and tell us what you think. Do you think maybe music has become better in the last decade, or do you think maybe it's not so good? Well, you do have bad artists, right?
You always have bad artists. Yeah.
So-
It's the bad ones, they fade into history. You never
Right.
hear from them again. So
The power of music. Music is a gift. It is a language that everyone can understand. It speaks to the heart, not just to the ears. Music is all around us. It is in the sound of birds, the rhythm of the rain, and even in the beat of our hearts. It makes life beautiful and brings people together. There was a boy named Adam. Adam loved music. He lived in a small village where life was simple. Every morning, Adam would wake up to the sound of birds singing outside his window. He called them nature's musicians. Their songs made him feel happy and ready to start the day. Adam did not have a lot of money. He could not buy fancy instruments. But he had a small drum made from an old box and sticks. He played his drum every evening. His friends in the village loved his music. They would gather around him and clap their hands to the rhythm. One day, an old man came to the village. He carried a guitar on his back. The man sat near the market and started playing his guitar. The sound was magical. Adam was amazed. He had never seen or heard a guitar before. He wanted to learn to play it, but he felt shy. The old man noticed Adam watching him. He smiled and called Adam over. "Do you like music, young boy?" he asked. Adam nodded. "Would you like to learn the guitar?" Adam's eyes lit up. "But I do not have a guitar," he said sadly. The old man laughed. "You don't need one to start. You can learn by watching and practicing with me." For the next few weeks, Adam spent time with the old man. He learned how to hold the guitar and play simple tunes. The old man taught him songs about love, kindness, and hope. "Music is not just about sound," the old man said. "It is about feelings. When you play, you tell a story." Adam practiced every day. His friends and family noticed his progress. They encouraged him to keep learning. Adam began to dream big. He wanted to share music with everyone in the village. One evening, Adam and the old man planned a small concert. They invited everyone in the village. Adam played his drum, and the old man played the guitar. People clapped, danced, and sang along. The music brought smiles to their faces. Even the elders, who rarely showed emotion, tapped their feet to the rhythm. After the concert, the old man handed his guitar to Adam. "This is for you," he said. "Keep playing and never stop sharing music." Adam was speechless. He hugged the old man and promised to make him proud. From that day, Adam's life changed. He became the village musician. He played at weddings, festivals, and even on ordinary days to bring joy to people. Years later, Adam grew up and became a music teacher. He remembered the lessons from the old man and taught them to his students. "Music is for everyone," he said. "It connects us. It makes us feel alive. Music is more than just entertainment. It heals sadness, celebrates happiness, and helps us express emotions. It is a bridge between people, no matter where they come from." Adam's story teaches us that music is not about having expensive instruments or perfect skills. It is about passion, practice, and sharing joy. Whether it is singing, clapping, or tapping your feet, anyone can make music. So, the next time you hear a song, remember its power. Let it move your heart, and if you can, share it with others. Music is a gift, and the world needs more of it.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. A kind of literary or artistic work.
Genre. When a person pretends to play the guitar when listening to music. Air guitar. Abbreviations. Acronym. To sing without any instruments or music. A cappella. Extra time to determine a winner after a tie. Sudden death. A demand by an audience for an additional performance at the end of a concert. Encore. The outcome or result depends on you. The pressure is on. A part of a song repeated after each verse. Chorus. A person or thing that gains wide appeal or fame. Hit. Used when you want to bet twice as much. Double or nothing. Let's try that faster. To sing without any instruments or music. A cappella. A part of a song repeated after each verse. Chorus. Extra time to determine a winner after a tie. Sudden death. A kind of literary or artistic work. Genre. When a person pretends to play the guitar when listening to music. Air guitar. A demand by an audience for an additional performance at the end of a concert. Encore. A person or thing that gains wide appeal or fame. Hit. The outcome or result depends on you. The pressure is on. Abbreviations. Acronym. Used when you want to bet twice as much. Double or nothing. Now say the word and hear it in a sentence. Genre. I think mystery is one of the most fascinating literary genres. Genre. I was reading in the newspaper that there are over 200 music genres in the world. Genre. My family doesn't like to watch certain movie genres such as horror, musicals, and action. Acronym. Did you know that LASER is the acronym for light amplification by the stimulated emission of radiation? Acronym. The most well-known acronym in the world is OK, although people still aren't sure what it stands for. Acronym. ATM is a well-known acronym for Automatic Teller Machine. The pressure is on. The pressure is on the president to guide his country out of the recession. The pressure is on. Carl is really stressed out lately. The pressure of the entire project is on him since his promotion. The pressure is on. The pressure's on our entire team to successfully come up with a new product for the Asian market within a month. Sudden death. The soccer game is in sudden death now. The first player to score wins the game. Sudden death. We went out to a bar last night to watch the football game. The winner was decided by sudden death. Sudden death. What an exciting volleyball game that was. I can't believe the game was decided by sudden death. Double or nothing. Double or nothing. Double or nothing.
Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine. So what are we talking about today, Marco?
Well, we're talking about one of my favorite topics, which are computers.
Yes, you're a little bit of a nerd.
A little bit. I love computers and technology and everything that's related to it. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. Maybe we're buying a new computer.
Well, I anticipate learning something from this because there are a lot of those fancy big words that I don't know that have to do with processors and giga things. So that's going to be coming up in a minute here. But first, let's just jump right in and take a listen to today's dialogue.
So, can you fix it?
I'm sorry, sir. This computer is not broken or damaged. It's simply just too old. That's why your programs and applications are running slow. There really isn't much I can do.
What do you mean? I bought this computer just 3 years ago.
Yes, but technology is ever-changing, and technology is becoming obsolete faster and faster.
Okay, I know where this is going. How much will it cost me to get a new computer?
Well, this desktop over here is our latest model. It has a 4 gigahertz processor with 16 gigabytes in RAM and a hard disk with 1 terabyte. Of course, it includes a mouse, keyboard, and desk speakers.
I have no idea what you are talking about. I just want to know if it's good, and if I'll be able to play solitaire without the computer crashing or freezing all the time.
This PC is top of the line, and I guarantee it will never freeze. If it does, we'll give you your money back.
All right, we're back. I think it's a very typical case. You go in to get something fixed, and they say, we can't fix it. You need a new one.
Yes, and not only a new one, but a bigger and better and faster one.
And more expensive, obviously.
Obviously. It's called the upsell.
The upsell, yeah. All right, so there were some very difficult words, I think, because they're very specific related to technology and computers. So why don't we look at those now in Language Takeaway?
Language takeaway.
All right, so the first word we have today is when something is no longer in use.
Okay, so this word is obsolete.
It's obsolete.
Obsolete. And we're not just talking about like, oh, I haven't touched that pen in like 10 years. We're talking about a piece of technology that is no longer useful because there's something else that can do a better job.
Right. And actually, not only with technology, we also have words that are obsolete, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly. Like thy or thine, you or yours.
Classical English. We don't use thy anymore.
No.
But
thou art very summary today, Marco.
We don't use that anymore. That's obsolete English, right? Or obsolete words.
Exactly. So obsolete means it's no longer of use. We have better and newer things in its place.
All right. And now moving on, when the salesman was describing the characteristics of the computer, he used some prefixes that were a little bit strange, right? Like, for example, giga.
Giga what?
Giga.
All right. So these are actually prefixes that have to do with numbers. And so this is not just a computer thing. This is a math thing or a science thing. So, okay. So we've got 3 different prefixes. A prefix is something we tack on at the beginning of a word. So we have hertz or byte, right? These are little bits of a computer, byte.
Right. So you have like megabytes.
Megabytes we've all heard before. That's the smallest here. We've got megabytes, but bigger than mega, we've got gigabytes.
A giga, yeah. So now, for example, the hard drives are 250 gigabytes.
You might even hear someone say gigs. You've got a 250 gig hard drive.
Yeah.
But what's bigger than giga?
Now it's the terabyte.
Ooh, tera. It sounds like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
huge.
I actually wondered what would happen after gigabyte, because it's so much information already, and now it's the terabyte. So it's like 1,000 gigabytes.
So that's like 200 movies.
That's probably more than that. It's amazing the amount of storage you can have and how small it actually is.
So mega, giga, tera, going from littlest to biggest.
All right. And, well, he described a 4 gigahertz processor.
Okay, so the processor is our next word, and this is actually something that that determines how fast your computer is going to run.
So it comes from the word to process, right?
Right.
To like calculate or to think.
To do, even.
To do. So you have different examples like a word processor.
Right, so it's like Microsoft Word. It allows you to make Word documents. You can also say to process data. You're trying to calculate it.
But in this case, a processor is like a little brain that's the center of the computer, and that's where all the information gets processed.
Yeah, so it's the brain of the computer, essentially. And the bigger it is, the faster it can go.
Exactly. And, well, if you don't have a very good processor, your computer is bound to freeze.
Ooh, okay, so freezing is another key word, especially when talking about computers. This one drives me nuts. To freeze, it means to stop moving.
Right.
Right? So, well, it has a couple different meanings. You might have heard it about ice before, but to freeze here, we're talking about stopping moving. So we have a game called Freeze Tag, where if I touch you, you have to stop running.
Right.
But here we're talking about a computer freezing. I'm moving my mouse and I'm typing, and all of a sudden,
It doesn't work
my
anymore.
mouse doesn't move. I can't close or open or do anything, and it's really frustrating.
It's very, especially if you're doing something and you didn't save your work, it's gone. Right? So if your computer freezes, then usually you have to restart it or turn it off or not.
So that is about it for those words, but let's take another listen and slow the dialogue down this time so you can catch some of those big words.
So, can you fix it?
I'm sorry, sir. This computer is not broken or damaged. It's simply just too old. That's why your programs and applications are running slow. There really isn't much I can do.
What do you mean? I bought this computer just 3 years ago.
Yes, but technology is ever-changing, and technology is becoming obsolete faster and faster.
Okay, I know where this is going. How much will it cost me to get a new computer?
Well, this desktop over here is our latest model. It has a 4 gigahertz processor with 16 gigabytes in RAM and a hard disk with 1 terabyte. Of course, it includes a mouse, keyboard, and desk speakers.
I have no idea what you are talking about. I just want to know if it's good, and if I'll be able to play solitaire without the computer crashing or freezing all the time.
This PC is top of the line, and I guarantee it will never freeze. If it does, we'll give you your money back.
Great, so we are back. So now let's jump into today's Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
All right, so on Fluency Builder, we're going to take a look at 3 different phrases. For example, the salesman was describing technology and said that it's ever-changing.
Okay, so this is almost a little poetic line here. So ever-changing means always changing.
Always.
Always changing. And so we can say that the ocean is ever-changing. You know, the
Right.
waves are always changing it. But in this case, he's saying that technology is always changing. It's always progressing into something new. And so
Exactly.
that is a key selling point for this guy.
Right. So this is actually a very interesting word. We can use it like in your example beyond technology, like the way, like the sea is ever changing. So why don't we listen to a couple of other examples?
You know, it's amazing how quickly technology is changing every year.
Absolutely. Just think about smartphones a few years ago. They were basic, and now they do everything. It's like carrying a tiny computer in your pocket.
Exactly. And not just phones, even things like home appliances are changing. Now, everything seems to be smart TVs, smart fridges, even smart lights.
Yeah, it feels like every year there's something new and better. It's hard to keep up sometimes. Do you ever wonder what the future of technology will look like?
All the time. With AI self-driving cars and virtual reality, it feels like we're living in the future already.
True, AI is really changing the way we work and live. Many jobs are being automated now. It's exciting, but a little scary too.
I know what you mean. Technology changing so fast is great, but it also makes me wonder what happens if people can't adapt.
That's a good point. I guess learning and adapting are important. But one thing's for sure, technology will keep changing, whether we're ready or not.
Absolutely. We just have to keep learning and growing with it.
All right, we're back. So now we understand the ever-changing.
So the man who's trying to buy this computer, or at least get his computer fixed, really starts to get frustrated with the salesman. And he says, okay, I know where this is going. So he hears the sales pitch. He hears this guy trying to loosen him up a little bit. He says, I know where this is going. So what does this mean? This where something is going.
So basically, what direction a conversation or a topic or a situation is taking.
Okay, so he's saying, I know why you're telling me these
Right.
things. I know your motive.
Or I know what's happening. I know what you're going to say.
Okay, so he's essentially saying, I know you're going to try and sell me a computer.
Right.
All
So you can use it in other circumstances, right? For example, a relationship.
I don't know where this is going.
Right. What is going?
Classic breakup line. I just don't think I know where this is going anymore.
So in reference to the relationship, right?
Yeah,
We
so-
don't know what's happening. Are we serious? Are we maybe going to get married? I don't know anymore.
I can't tell where this movie is going. It's so like, here and there and boring.
Yeah, you
and-
don't know the plot.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a very common phrase, and it sounds very natural when you say it, right?
It does. And that's why this Influency Builder really helps you sound like a more native English speaker when you use these kind of phrases.
And the next one is also very, very good when he describes the condition of the computer. He says it's top of the line.
Top of the line. Now, what line we're talking about, I do not know, but this
Like
is
above average line.
right. So this is the best of the best. This is the top model or the top computer. And you can definitely imagine a car salesman using this.
Yeah.
Yes, this BMW is top of the line. It's the best money can buy.
Yeah, that's another good one. So basically, top of the line is the best of the best, the above average, right?
More than above average. It's the best you can do. And
The
so
best you can
the
buy.
guy is saying, listen, this is our best computer. Really, you should buy it. And obviously, top of the line usually costs a lot of money.
Yeah, it's usually for something that costs money, right? For things. You wouldn't really use it for a person, right? He's top of the line.
No. Top of the line, I think, generally refers to electronics and cars
Yeah.
or like motorcycles. And so you often hear top of the line stereo, top of the line TV, top of the line car. But you wouldn't say this about food or
Yeah.
people or art.
Yeah, you wouldn't say this painting is top of the line.
No, not about like very unique things. You'd say
Right.
this about kind of manufactured things.
Very good. So we've taken a look at a lot of great phrases. Why don't we listen to our dialogue for the last time, and then we'll come back.
So, can you fix it?
I'm sorry, sir. This computer is not broken or damaged. It's simply just too old. That's why your programs and applications are running slow. There really isn't much I can do.
What do you mean? I bought this computer just 3 years ago.
Yes, but technology is ever changing and technology is becoming obsolete faster and faster.
Okay, I know where this is going. How much will it cost me to get a new computer?
Well, this desktop over here is our latest model. It has a 4 gigahertz processor with 16 gigabytes in RAM and a hard disk with 1 terabyte. Of course, it includes a mouse, keyboard, and desk speakers.
I have no idea what you are talking about. I just want to know if it's good, and if I'll be able to play solitaire without the computer crashing or freezing all the time.
This PC is top of the line, and I guarantee it will never freeze. If it does, we'll give you your money back.
All right, we're back. So computers. Catherine, I know you recently got a nice Macintosh.
Yeah, I did.
It's one of those big screen ones, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a desktop, right? So it's not a laptop. And it's got a very fast processor because Macs started using Intel processors a couple of years ago, and that made them much faster.
Wow, and this processor actually has 2 cores, right? So basically it has 2 different brains almost within one processor.
Which gives it really bad headaches. She complains to me often.
Are you a big Mac fan or PC fan?
I'm a Mac fan.
Really?
I've been converted. My roommate in college, my sophomore year, had a Mac, and ever since then, I've really gotten into them. So,
Really?
yeah, I went Mac and didn't turn back.
I still honestly cannot really use a Mac. I get confused. I'm looking for the start button, and I'm looking for where my documents are.
It's really hard to change over. Right?
Yeah.
But once you do, you don't want to change back because everything is so much easier on a Mac.
Really?
But if you're really into PC gaming, then you should probably stick with the PCs because the games just don't really compare on Macs.
But I've heard that also Macs don't really suffer from viruses, right?
No, they don't, which is great because I always used to get these viruses that would slow down my computer because, you open some email and all of a sudden there's nastiness on your desktop. Well, now I don't really have that problem. And also there's really wonderful photo editing software and video editing software.
Right.
So everything's just really easy to find and easy to use.
What about you, listeners? Do you prefer the Mac? Do you prefer the PC? Or maybe some of our listeners don't really even like computers?
Listen carefully.
How computers and technology changed our lives. The beginning of computers. Many years ago, before computers were everywhere, life was very different. People used paper and pens to write letters. They used books to find information. It took a lot of time to do simple tasks. For example, if someone wanted to know the weather, they had to read a newspaper or listen to the radio. If someone wanted to talk to a friend who lived far away, they had to write a letter and wait for days or even weeks for a reply. Then, in the middle of the 20th century, the first computers were created. These computers were very big. They were so big that they filled whole rooms. They were also very slow compared to today's computers. Only big companies and universities could use them because they were expensive and difficult to operate. But as time passed, technology improved. Computers got smaller, faster, and cheaper. In the 1970s and 1980s, personal computers came into homes. Families could buy their own computers. People started to use computers to write documents, play games, and learn new things. It was a new and exciting time. One of the most famous people who helped make computers popular was Steve Jobs. He started a company called Apple. Another important person was Bill Gates, who started Microsoft. They made computers easy to use for everyone, not just scientists and engineers. Computers changed from being big machines to being tools that people could use every day. The age of the internet and smartphones. In the 1990s, the internet became popular. The internet is a huge network that connects computers all over the world. It allows people to share information easily. With the internet, people could search for information in seconds. They could send emails instead of writing letters. Communication became faster and easier. Websites like Google, Yahoo, and Wikipedia helped people learn new things quickly. Instead of going to the library, you could just type your question into a search engine and find the answer immediately. This changed how students studied and how people worked. Then came smartphones. A smartphone is like a small computer that you can carry in your pocket. The first popular smartphone was the iPhone, introduced in 2007. Smartphones allowed people to use the internet, send messages, take pictures, and make phone calls, all from one device. Apps or applications made smartphones even more useful. People could use apps to learn languages, listen to music, or play games. Apps like WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram allowed people to stay connected with friends and family, no matter where they were. Technology made the world feel smaller and more connected. How technology helps us learn English. Today, technology helps people learn English in many ways. You can watch English videos on YouTube. You can listen to English podcasts. You can use apps like Duolingo to practice English every day. Technology makes learning fun and easy. For example, if you want to practice speaking, you can use voice recognition software. This software listens to your voice and helps you correct your pronunciation. If you want to learn new words, you can use flashcard apps that show you pictures and sounds. This helps you remember words better. Technology also helps people connect with English speakers around the world. You can join online language exchange programs. You can chat with people from different countries and learn about their culture. This is a great way to practice English and make new friends. The future of computers and technology. Computers and technology are still changing. Now, people are talking about artificial intelligence, AI. AI is a kind of computer program that can think and learn like a human. AI can help people do their work faster. It can also help doctors find diseases, help teachers teach better, and help drivers stay safe on the road. In the future, we might see even smarter computers. Maybe robots will help us at home. Maybe we will wear smart glasses that show us information wherever we look. Technology will keep making life easier and more interesting. But with all these changes, one thing is very important. Learning. Learning how to use technology is as important as learning how to read and write. If you understand computers and technology, you can do many things. You can work better, learn faster, and connect with people all over the world. Final thoughts. Technology and computers have changed our lives in amazing ways. They make learning English easier and more fun. They help us stay connected. They help us find information. The world is changing fast, and technology is a big part of that change. By learning how to use technology, we can be ready for the future. So, if you are learning English, use technology to help you. Watch videos, listen to podcasts, use apps, and talk to people online. Every time you use technology, you are also learning new skills. And these skills will help you in school, at work, and in life. Remember, computers and technology are not just machines. They are tools that can help you grow, learn, and succeed.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Always becoming different.
Ever-changing.
A written promise that a seller will repair a product if a problem arises.
Warranty.
No longer useful.
Obsolete.
A portable computer.
Laptop.
The direction of an event.
Where something is going.
To change into a more advanced state.
Evolve.
To be completely unaware of something.
I have no idea.
A device that allows computers to communicate without wires.
Wireless modem.
To suddenly stop functioning.
Freeze.
A system for communicating between computers.
Network.
A computer application.
Program.
Unit to measure a computer's storage capacity.
Gigabyte.
Part of computer that temporarily stores information.
Random access memory.
Part of computer that stores data.
Hard disk.
Measurement of computer processor speed.
Gigahertz.
Device in a computer that manages operations.
Processor.
To suddenly stop functioning.
Crash.
To make a written promise.
Guarantee.
Let's try that faster. A computer application.
Program.
Measurement of computer processor speed.
Gigahertz.
The direction of an event.
Where something is going.
Unit to measure a computer's storage capacity.
Gigabyte.
No longer useful.
Obsolete.
Device in a computer that manages operations.
Processor.
Always becoming different.
Ever-changing.
A device that allows computers to communicate without wires.
Wireless modem.
A written promise that a seller will repair a product if a problem arises.
Warranty.
Part of computer that stores data.
Hard disk.
To suddenly stop functioning.
Crash.
To make a written promise.
Guarantee.
Part of computer that temporarily stores information.
Random access memory.
To suddenly stop functioning.
Freeze.
A portable computer.
Laptop.
To change into a more advanced state.
Evolve.
A system for communicating between computers.
Network.
To be completely unaware of something.
I have no idea.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Ever-changing. There is always something new in this ever-changing world. Ever-changing. Times are ever-changing, and we must prepare ourselves better every day. Ever-changing. The flu is an ever-changing virus that continues to claim many lives. Obsolete. This fleet of battleships from World War II is completely obsolete. Obsolete. Broom is an obsolete word that means mist or fog. Obsolete. A VHS is a device that is practically obsolete nowadays. Who buys tapes anymore? Where something is going. We fight every day. I don't know where this relationship is going. Where something is going. Where is this movie going? I don't understand what's happening. Where something is going. You want to do what? Where are you going with this conversation? I have no idea. I can't find my keys. I have no idea where I put them. I have no idea. I have no idea where Tom went. Maybe he's in the bathroom? I have no idea. You have no idea how embarrassed I was. I mean, I accidentally burped while presenting my project to the board of directors. Freeze. If your computer freezes, you'll have to shut it down. Freeze. Something is wrong with my mobile phone. It keeps freezing. Freeze. files are not ready yet because my computer froze last night.